Assalamualaikum. This is Tuwas Maimuna and our topic is Presidential Decree number 984, which is the Pollution Control Law. And I will be discussing section number 5 to section number 9. Let us start with section number 5, which is Organization of the Commission. The Commission shall have a Water Pollution Control Division, an Air Pollution Control Division, a Research and Development Division, a Legal Division, an Administrative Division, and such other divisions or units as may be approved in the General Appropriation Act. Nothing herein contained shall be construed as to automatically terminate or abolish any existing position in the Commission, nor shall it be construed as a prohibition against termination of any position. The Commission shall also be established such original offices as may be necessary. So, dito sa section number 5, it is said that the Commission shall provide such technical, scientific and other services, including the necessary laboratory and other facilities as may be required to carry out the provision of this decree. Let's proceed with section number 6, which is the powers and functions. The Commission shall have the following powers and functions. So it is said that the Commission shall have the following powers and functions. First is determine the location, magnitude, extent, severity, causes and effects, and other pertinent information regarding pollution of water, air, and land resources of the country. Take such measures using available methods and technologies as it shall deem best to prevent or abate such pollution, and conduct continuing researches and studies on the effective means for the control and abatement of the pollution. Second, develop comprehensive multi-year and annual plans for the abatement of existing pollution and the prevention of new or imminent pollution, the implementation of which shall be consistent with the National Development Plan of the country. Such plan shall indicate priorities and programs during the year. The Commission shall also have issue standards, rules, and regulations to govern the approval of plans and specification for sewage works and industrial waste disposal system and the insurance of permits in accordance with the provision of this decree. Inspect the construction and maintenance of sewage works and industrial waste disposal system for compliance to plans. Fourth is adopt, prescribe, and promulgate rules and regulations governing the procedures of the Commission with respect to hearing, plans, specifications, design, and other data for sewage works and industrial waste disposal system, the filing of reports, the issuance of permits, and other rules and regulations for the proper implementation and enforcement of this decree. Next is issue orders or decision to compel compliance with other provisions of this decree and its implementing rules and regulation only after proper notice and hearing. Next is make, alter, or modify orders requiring the discontinuance of pollution, specifying the conditions and the time within which such discontinuance must be accomplished. Next is issue, renew, or deny permits under such condition as it may determine to be reasonable for the prevention and abatement of pollution, for the discharge of sewage industrial waste, or for the installation or operation of sewage works and industrial disposal system or parts thereof, provided, however, that the Commission by rules and regulations may require subdivisions, condominium, hospitals, public buildings, and other similar human settlements to put up appropriate central sewerage system and sewage treatment works, except that no permit shall be required of any sewage works, or changes to or extensions of existing works that discharge only domestic or sanitary wastes from a single residential building provided with septic tanks or their equivalent. The Commission may impose reasonable fees and charges for the insurance of renewal of all permits herein required. Next is, after due notice and hearing, the Commission may also revoke, suspend, or modify any permit issued under this decree whenever the same is necessary to prevent or abate pollution. Next, set up effluent, steam, ambient, and emission standards and promulgate rules and regulations thereof, provided that local governments, development authorities, and other similar government instrumentalities or agencies may set up higher standards subject to the written approval of the Commission. Next, serve as arbitrator for the determination of reparations or restitutions of the damages and losses resulting from pollution. Next, deputize in writing or request assistance of appropriate government agencies or instrumentalities for the purpose of enforcing this decree and its implementing rules and regulations and the orders and decisions of the Commission. Next, consult, participate, cooperate, and enter into an agreement with other agencies of the government and with affected political groups, political subdivisions, and enterprises in the furtherance of the purpose of this decree. Next, collect and disseminate information relating to water, air, and land pollution and the prevention, abatement, and control thereof. Next, authorize its representative to enter at all reasonable times in any property of the public dominion and private property devoted to industrial, manufacturing, processing, or commercial use without doing damage, for the purpose of inspecting and investigating conditions relating to pollution or possible or imminent pollution. Next, prepare and submit 60 days after the close of each calendar year an annual report to the President in such periodic reports of activities as may be required from time. Next, exercise such powers and perform such other functions as may be necessary to carry out its duties and responsibilities under this decree. That is all the powers and functions that the Commission shall have. Next, we are going to proceed with section number 7, which is public hearing. Public hearing shall be conducted by the Commissioner, Deputy Commissioners, or any senior official duly designated by the Commissioner prior to issuance of promulgation of any order or decision by the Commissioner requiring the discontinuance of discharge of sewage, industrial wastes, or other waste into the water, air, or land resources of the Philippines as provided in this decree. Provided that whenever the Commission finds a prima facie evidence that discharged sewage or waste are of immediate threat to life, or exceeds the allowable standards set by the Commission, the Commissioner may issue an ex parte order directing the discontinuance of the same or the temporary suspension of the same or the temporary suspension of or cessation of operation of establishment or person generating such sewage or wastes without the necessity of a prior public hearing. The said ex parte order shall be immediately executory and shall remain in force until said establishment or person prevents or abates the said pollution within the allowable standards or modified or nullified by the competent court. Letter B under the section number 7 is appeal to courts. So it is said that any decision of the Commission in the absence of an appeal thereform, as herein provided, shall become final 15 days after the date of notification, and judicial review thereof shall be permitted only after any party claiming to be aggrieved thereby has exhausted the remedies before the Commission. The Commission shall deem to be a party to any judicial action involving any decision. Letter C is court review. The decision of the Commission upon any disputed matter may be reviewed both upon the law and the facts of the case by the Court of Appeals. For purposes of such review, the procedure concerning appeals from the Court of First Instance shall be followed, Appeal of the decision of the Commission must be perfected within 15 days from notification of such decision, provided, however, that any decision of the Commission involving only questions of law shall be appealed into the Supreme Court. No appeal shall stay the execution of any order or decision of appeals or the Supreme Court's so orders. Letter D is the execution of decision. Any decision or order of the Commission after the same has become final and executory shall be enforced and executed in the same manner as decisions of court of, for instance, and the Commission shall have the power to issue to the city of provincial sheriff or duly constituted authorities, whom it may appoint, such writs of execution as may be necessary for the reinforcement of such decision or order, and any person who shall fail or refuse to comply with such decision, order, or writ after being required to do so shall, upon application by the Commission, be punished by the proper court for contempt. Now we're going to proceed with section number 8, which is the prohibitions. So it is said that no person shall throw, run, drain, or otherwise dispose into any of the water, air, or land resources of the Philippines, or cause, permit, suffer to be thrown, run, drain, allowed to slip, or otherwise adhere to any organic or inorganic matter, or any substance in gaseous or liquid form that shall cause pollution thereof. Next, we're going to proceed with section number 9, which is the penalties. So it is said that any person found violating or failing to comply with any order, decision, or regulation of the Commission for the Control or Abatement of Pollution shall pay a fine not exceeding 5,000 pesos per day for every day during which such violation or default continues, and the Commission is hereby authorized and empowered to impose the fine after the notice and hearing. Next, any person who shall violate any of the provision of Section 8 or Section 8 of this decree or its implementing rules and regulation or any order to decision of the Commission shall be liable to a penalty of not to exceed 1,000 pesos for each day during which the violation continues, or by imprisonment of 2 years to 6 years, or by both fine and imprisonment, and in addition such person may be required or enjoined from continuing such violation as hereinafter provided. Last is any person who shall refuse, obstruct, or hamper the entry of the duly authorized representatives of the Commission into any property of the public domain or private property devoted to industrial manufacturing, processing, or a commercial use during reasonable hours for the purpose of inspecting or investigating the conditions therein relating to pollution or possible or imminent pollution shall be liable to a fine not exceeding 200 pesos or imprisonment of not exceeding 1 month or both.